And an accused Fresno criminal carrying the coronavirus is on the run, and he could be anywhere right now.
He was arrested but got out of jail only a few hours later. But we know exactly where the 4 police officers and the K-9 who helped with his arrest are. They're locked down in quarantine. We want to show you his picture so you can help find this virus-carrying crook. But we can't, because 5 days after his positive coronavirus test, the Fresno County Health Department is refusing to allow the release of his picture, despite repeated police requests.
But basically, to give everybody some background, there was an inmate who was tested and then released on I think like the $0 bail policy, and then their test came back positive.
Last Friday, Fresno Police brought an 18-year-old to jail for stealing a car. He said he'd been around the coronavirus, so they sent him to the hospital. But by the time a positive test result came back, he'd already been released based on the $0 bail in effect right now, even though this guy had just been arrested last month for the same crime.
So he had been released before we could even get the results on the test. And it's extremely frustrating for me and my officers. And my officers are at home now, quarantined, and the threat of a misdemeanor if they leave the house. Well, we have a suspect who committed a crime and is a known virus carrier who's out on the street.
The Fresno Police Department and Sheriff's Office would like to release the infected criminal's mugshot and information to the public. The Health Department won't allow it, citing HIPAA. But we found a 2014 Department of Health and Human Services emergency bulletin clarifying HIPAA rules in emergency situations. It says healthcare providers may share PHI as necessary to prevent or lessen a serious and imminent threat to the health and safety of a person or the public.
That is straight from an emergency bulletin. So why 5 days later we have a positive person, an inmate, who we know is not necessarily going to be sheltering at home, let's be honest. Why is he still out there and we as the public don't know who it is and we can't even help find this individual?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like I said, my team is working through it, and we're working with all of the agencies that we need to be working with. If we do decide to make it more public about their information, we will definitely work with our media partners.
But why are you not making it public if the HIPAA exception allows for it to be public?
Right, like I said,
imminent danger.
Right now, we're just going through our usual mechanisms of trying to work through and protecting privacy and confidentiality.
Frankly, here we have a suspect, a repeat auto theft suspect, who has exposed 5 of my officers now who are on quarantine for 14 days. Yet this suspect's released back into the community. And when we're starting to release irresponsible people back into the community and expect them to be responsible, I think we're being a little short-sighted.
Do our due diligence in
Right.
protecting.
Do you have anything that you want to say to the police officers that are now quarantined because of this guy?
Just that, again, we're working through all of the mechanisms that we've put in place. I feel like that the right thing is being done. I know that there's a lot of frustration about this situation. We're trying to address it as best as we can. And I apologize for any inconvenience that this is causing.
An inconvenience Dr. Vora says we should be hearing more about in the coming days. In the meantime, if you'd like to see more of that interview, we have that whole thing posted over on kmph.com.